Good afternoon, Commissioners. President Gilman, Vice President Engblom, David Beaupre, Deputy Director of Planning and Environment. I am joined here today by Mark Johnson, who submitted the nomination, as well as some of the Alioto family. I know Gina Von March is here as well. And I'll basically go through the following presentation, which is a little bit of an overview of the nomination received, how this aligns with our strategic plan, the recognition type falling under the criteria, and then what our next steps are. So again, I mentioned the nomination was received by Mark Johnson. He gathered 67 signatures and came up with the justification on the connection to the waterfront, the legacy of the restaurant, the cultural heritage, the community support, and the economic contributions to the waterfront. For a little bit more history, I just wanted to go through the history of the Alioto's restaurant, including the connection to San Francisco that began in the late 19th century with the arrival of the Sicilian immigrant Fisherman. Nunzio Alioto immigrated from St. Elia, Sicily, arriving in San Francisco in 1897 at the age of 10 as a part of a large wave of Italian immigrants between 1880 and 1920. Like many of the immigrants who settled in San Francisco waterfront, the Alioto family became deeply involved in the fishing community and fishing industry. In 1925, Nunzio Alioto founded Alioto's Fish in stall number 9, so Alioto's number 9. This later developed into a restaurant on Taylor Street. The restaurant quickly became a cornerstone of the Wharf's dining culture and a recognizable seafood establishment in San Francisco. Alioto's played a significant role in shaping the identity of Fisherman's Wharf as a destination for seafood and waterfront. And over the decades, Alioto's became an institution within San Francisco's culinary and tourism landscape. The restaurant helped define the Wharf's identity while supporting the local fishing industry and maintaining a continuous presence within the community. How this naming aligns with the strategic plan is it aligns with the goals of economic growth, evolve, equity, and public collaboration by bringing the nomination in front of you. Just going back to the policy that was just adopted, within it are various criteria, including how we recognize places, the types, and the locations. So the type for this would be a naming marker within the plaza. The location is on the former site of the restaurant, and the eligibility is made on the significant contributions to the port and the waterfront. And then briefly, the next steps, consistent with the policy that was just adopted, is the applicant submitted nominations for the request. We reviewed the submittal for compliance. We're at step 3 here with the Port Commission reviews at a public hearing the nomination. If the Port Commission is supportive of this, we would wait for 3 months and bring it back to you in July. And during that 90-day period, we would work with the nominator and the family to identify how we would recognize it through signage within the plaza. And with that, I'll let Mark Johnson, who submitted the nomination, say a few words.
Commissioners, good afternoon. I'm Mark Johnson. I own one of the Monterey's on J4. So I, along with the other Monterey owners, have watched as the decision was made to take down the restaurant. And we thought, well, what are they going to do? What are they going to call it? And it was just obvious to all of us. We got to call it Alioto's Plaza. So we put together a petition, circulated it around, and if we would have kept it out there longer, I'm sure we would have had hundreds of signatures. Everybody signed it that we told about it. But it's, I've been down the wharf since I was a little kid. And I got to meet all the old people and so forth. When you're a little kid, you don't really appreciate it, but looking at Nunzio, he came here as a little kid. He was 10 years old. He started to fish. He started to sell fish. And you have to recognize, he had minimal education. He spoke a language. Sicilian's not Italian. And Italians don't understand Sicilian. But he overcame that, and look what he built. He, along with, all the others, Palladini, Giraldi, La Rocca, all of these different people. They built the Wharf. The Wharf is known worldwide. I have friends that, I'd worked for Chevron Overseas Petroleum. So we had people coming in from overseas. Everybody asked about Fisherman's Wharf. Can we go to Fisherman's Wharf? And it just, for us, it was a no-brainer. I think it's the proper thing to do, and we hope that everybody else agrees to it and moves forward. And that's pretty much it.
Thank you, Mark.
Sure.
Thank you, David, for your presentation. Before we open it up for conversation, is there any public comment in the room on this item? Just make your way to the dais.
Hi there, my name is Gina Von Esmark, and I am great-granddaughter of Nunzio and Rose Alioto. Sorry. So just wanted to, I didn't really plan on saying anything here today, but I'm definitely inspired to do so in hopes that the naming does move forward. I obviously have a lot of pride in what my family has been able to do amongst all the other Italian-American immigrants that came here and really made it Fisherman's Wharf just versus just part of the port. And I think there's a great sense of pride and history that I look forward to hopefully bringing to the next generation that can see what we built or what was built by those that came before us and hopefully make it consumable to the next generation, my kids' kids. And to know that there is some tribute to what formerly was the place where our restaurant stood would be a great way to move forward. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your comments.
Yeah, thank you.
Is there any other public comment in the room on this item? Jenica, is there anyone on the phone?
I want to give it a minute. No hands.
Okay.
No colors.
We have no one on the phone and no one else in the room. Public comment is closed. Commissioners, there are comments. Commissioner McNeely?
I have no comment, thank you.
Okay. Commissioner Lee?
No, I mean, I think Alioto's, as we all grew up here, and I, from Vacaville, came to visit, Alioto's sign was always what I could see from my grandma's house from Russian Hill. And, you know, as far as history and legacy, we have to really let the public know and our generations who live here who actually, you know, developed these areas, just like Chinatown or whatever. And I think the Alioto family, not just as immigrants, and especially nowadays, immigrants built this nation. We really got to highlight these things when we're unfortunately tearing these places down because they're kind of obsolete. But at the same time, memories need to be remembered. And I'm hoping that when we do when the developer finally figures out what we're going to do with that area, that the Alioto family can maybe find some stuff in the closet to donate and have a little tribute or a museum for the family. So I'm all in support of this naming of this area, new area as for that. So thank you for the recommendation.
Thank you. And commissioners, with your grace, we had a caller who did want to make public comment. There was some confusion. So we're going to let that happen, and then we'll go back to commissioner comments.
Thank you. Let's open up the line.
Hi, caller. Whenever you're ready. Hello, caller. Can you hear us? Please speak.
Hi. I think you just recognized me. My name is Greg Champeau. I am a 30-year resident of North Beach, and I wholeheartedly support naming it Alioto Plaza in recognition of the restaurant and the family's contributions to the city.
Thank you, sir, for your comments. Thank you. Okay, that is it. So now, officially, again, public comment is closed. Commissioner Adams?
I couldn't be prouder to support this. This is what this is very historical. This is how dreams come true.
mic's
Is-
off.
Okay, I'll speak louder. Hello? Okay. Yep. Thank you.
Still on?
I'll talk loud. Okay. As I said, I couldn't be prouder because it's going to be where it all started. And I consider it the holy ground. And it was dreams of people that came from Italy, not knowing what was going on, but to come and go for it. You know, courage, there are a lot of people that have liquid courage in a bar they can drink and they get courage. But it's another courage to leave the country of your birth, go somewhere where you don't know anyone, and to make a start. And that's what's happening. That's what happened. And we just passed a resolution to talk about these things here today. So I couldn't be prouder. This would be the first action that we do. And to one so well deserving of it. I could only think, you said generations of your family to come. They dreamed, they worked hard. And a lot of times, the younger generation forgets about those that came before. But there are a lot of people that set the table for us and had that vision and had that courage, and they came forth. And as the new waterfront and the new Fisherman's Wharf, I hope that they're looking down from heaven and they can see this and be proud that change is constant and is continuing, to move forward. And I could feel your passion and your tears when you were talking about how proud you are, because we all are proud in this room. And this is a great day, this April day, to have this come in front of us. And you totally have my support. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. VP Emblem, do you have any comments?
Yes, I just want to say, hearing the speakers make it easy to support this idea about naming the plaza in honor of the history. I guess I would just say that any time that I feel like it's easy to support something, I just always say, well, what do we have to challenge ourselves in this then? Because I think that in a real, I'm always, my thought about the history of San Francisco is we're also lucky to be recipients of, what your families have done for our waterfront and what other immigrants have done and what the fishing industry has done and continues to do. I guess I always put it I think our job as a commission is not just to support this, but also to challenge what else do we need in order to make sure this is a sustaining idea. Like, how does it become a platform for education around the fishing industry? How does it become a place that's a kind of a lightning rod for investment in, we've been discussing a lot, and this isn't, it's a challenge that is kind of a complement to this idea about naming the plaza, but it's something that I've been sort of struggling with in a lot of meetings about how do we create a platform for sustaining the places on the waterfront, because we're investing in making it a public open space right now, but that doesn't mean that it's going to be. How do we attract philanthropy or some sort of sponsorship of this? Is there some partnerships with education programs that would bring, the future fishermen of the world to this plaza so that it's, more than just a tourist spot. It's really about educating people about what happened here and why it became a important place to begin with. So anyway, that's just my way of just saying I love this idea about the naming, but I think we have to attach it to some sort of long-term a way to sustain it and attract further investment in the spirit of what your great-grandfather did and what I hope that will continue to happen at that part of our waterfront. So if we do that well, I think we'll be realize that it wasn't just about naming it to honor the future, but it's about creating so that it means something in the future also.
Thank you. I just want to say I'm just so thrilled and excited this is moving forward. We have been grappling the whole time I've been on the commission about what, particularly after the family decided, to shutter and release the restaurant, what we were going to do with this iconic piece of the waterfront. As someone who lives on the northeast section of the waterfront, who lives in North Beach, your family's history is alive and well there. And to see the plaza happen again, I said this in my opening remarks, so quickly, so fast, in such a great way. It is absolutely a slam dunk, in some ways, a no-brainer that with this naming policy, that the first inaugural thing we would name would be Alioto's Plaza. So I'm thrilled beyond belief. I'm excited in 3 months, which is a mandatory waiting period we have to work with the family. And I know we'll want to see the designs, so I think that will be an exciting meeting for us to have. And my only, other request, and I actually think this is our responsibility, not the family's responsibility, is I am aware that you have so many cousins and such a large clan of family. So I want to make sure we're as expansive as possible in making sure, even if they're not the direct lineage of your great-grandfather, I know many of them came to the restaurant. I know some folks on the other side of the family. So I want to make sure we invite them all when we do the unveiling of this name in this event, that would be as expansive as possible. And the other families that were mentioned from La Rocca, et cetera, I think we could coordinate with the Italian Heritage Society and the Italian Athletic Club to help as anchor institutions for those communities, to make sure that we really invite what I'd call the old school, the OGs of that particular neighborhood in San Francisco to come on down and be part of this opening. I think that would be really appropriate. That's a recommendation to staff. So on this very lovely, supportive item, we're going to go to the next one. Next item, please, Jenica.